Hi, this is Jill from Humu Yoga, and this is the full yoga practice. Today we're working with the theme of kindness. So what I'll do is take us through a quiet centering where I'll recite some quotes on kindness, and then I'll weave this theme into a full yoga practice where today we're going to be focusing on side body, really lengthening and rotating. And by the end of the practice, you'll feel very open and inspired by the theme of kindness. So we'll go ahead and get started. And you can just take your hands down by your sides and close the eyes a moment and just connect inward. And focus now on the muscles you're sitting on or pelvic floor and just engage those muscles. We call that Mula Bandha. It means root lock. And then above that, below the belly button, get a sense of drawing inward and up. And that energy, it's called Uddiyana Bandha, and it means flying upward. And then at the top of the spine, gently just draw the chin down, and we call that Jalandhara Bandha, or chin lock. And now with the bandhas engaged, you're fully supported from inside, and you can release the hands. And just begin to visualize your breath. Conscious breathing. As you inhale, visualize how the rib cage expands. And then as you exhale, you can feel how the rib cage relaxes. Inhale, feel a widening. Exhale, feel it gently release. And one more time, big breath in and exhale. Let's take the hands together in prayer position, and we'll vibrate together with the mantra Om, and then I'll recite the quotes of kindness. Inhale. Om. No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. A single act of kindness throws out roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. Kindness. So not only do we treat ourselves with compassion and gentle strength and openness, but when we do this, then we can share that in the world, wherever we go. So let's keep that in mind as we start to move through this class, which can get vigorous at times, but you can take it at your own speed. So let's come to all fours, and we'll start to move the spine. So just slowly curling or rounding the spine. So what are we doing? We're pulling the belly in for support in the back, and then we're rounding the spine and stretching it. And then inhale, come forward, and now we're using the muscles in the back to allow the front body to open. And then exhale and round. And one more time, inhale, come forward, just starting to move and noticing what's going on in your body today. And then exhale, go ahead and round. Let's take this into downward facing dog. As always, just notice how this first down dog of the day is. You can bend your knees, maybe get your chest closer to your legs and your spine really lengthened, and then start to straighten. It doesn't matter if your heels are lifted, you just do your best. Inhale, you could bend and straighten a couple times. Just notice what's going on. You could slowly try to release your neck a little bit. And now tune into your breath. Pull the belly in and try to breathe into that rib cage. Inhale and exhale. And now let's make our way slowly up to the front of the mat. Slowly up to the front, lightly, taking your time. You could have your feet a little bit apart and just or a lot apart. That felt better. Let your body hang. Let's just find some release here. Notice what's going on. Even if your knees are bent, that's okay. And now just release your hands, and let's slowly start to stack the spine as we curl up, visualizing that spine one vertebra at a time till we get all the way at the top. The shoulders fall into place, And just pause for a moment. And then we'll step everything together for Samasthiti, standing still and straight. And now we're going to start Surya Namaskar A. But before we start, I always practice with 2 yoga blocks. And I use a little towel, but you could use a yoga strap. And it's not necessary. I just use it because they help me to get more, I want to say fuller into the poses, some poses. Okay, here we go. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach. Notice what's going on in that reach. And exhale, fold. As you fold, make sure you lift the belly. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back to a plank. Now hold a strong plank. So notice, is your butt out? Are you sinking? Can you find something straight ahead to look at and really hold that plank? And if you want to, you could come down to your knees and it'll help in the push-up to maintain that line. Come a little forward and then push up and then come through. Inhale. Finding upward facing dog. Inhale, lift the sternum. I'm gazing down the nose and leading with the sternum. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Really keeping that belly lifted. Inhale. And lengthen, exhale. And now we're going to slowly make our way up to the front of the mat. So inhale, pushing down as you slowly, lightly floating up to the front as best you can, and fold. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale, hands down. One more Surya Namaskar A. Big breath in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Feel how you lift the belly as you go forward. And then inhale, lengthen. Let's go ahead and take it back. Hold the plank. Hold that plank so you really feel strong there. And then lower. Just do what you can for your body. Only go as low as you feel like you can support it. And come forward. Inhale, lengthen through the sternum. Exhale, downward facing dog. And breathe here. Inhale. I'm really reaching through my upper body. I'm reaching through my legs, trying to have no tension in my neck. Maybe take your gaze towards your thighs. Inhale and exhale. Just feeling what's going on, noticing and allowing. Slowly, let's make our way up. Lightly, all the way up and fold. And then inhale, lengthen. And exhale, hands down. Now we're going to go into Surya Namaskar B. I'm going to use the blocks for this, totally optional. They just help me to have a little height. And it makes me feel lighter. Inhale, Utthita, reaching up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And let's slowly take it back. You could step back. I like to try and float and find that plank. And notice it feels a little different when you're a little higher. It feels, for me, it feels supported. And push up and then come through. Inhale, lift the sternum. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And now we're going to step the right foot forward, coming into a lunge, a high lunge. So really pull the right butt back, bend the back knee a little, and take the tail under. And then from here, we're going to take the arms into angel arms. Try and lift the sternum. Let's go ahead and bend the back knee and lift the sternum. And one more time, bend the back knee, lift the sternum. Now we're going to try and straighten the back leg and keep these angel arms. The shoulders are going down and wide. And then at some point, start to reach. Reach, going fully into the lunge pose, reach. And then inhale here, reach forward, pull the right butt back, take your hands down and step back. And let's go ahead and lower, 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 and rise. And come forward, lift the sternum, tail under, and making your way to downward facing dog. Let's go to the left side. step the left foot forward. I like to do this lunge pose because it really warms us up for warrior one. So let's go ahead, angel arms I like, because you can draw the shoulders down and still get a sense of width. They're not just squishing together. Bend the back knee and straighten. So just think about that. You want to really open the sternum up. Bend, keep that butt under and straight, so you're getting a nice stretch on the hip flexors in that right leg. Straighten. Now we start to take it back. Breathe. Inhale. Feel the back bend. Reach the arms. Feel how the legs are really strong and supporting you here. Rise up. Reach forward. Keep pulling that left butt back. It's okay to feel a little wobbly. Just work through it. And now we'll lower. And rise. And come through. Lift that sternum, tail under. And downward facing dog. And breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. And just stay connected to your breath. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more big breath in. And exhale. And then you can find a little target in the front of your mat where you want to lift up and put your feet down. Or you could walk up and fold in. Bend the knees. Reach the arms. Utthita. And come to stand. One more Surya Namaskar B. Bend the knees. Reach the arms. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. We're going to make our way back. Try to keep your shoulders right where they are. And let's go ahead and lower. Tail under. Rise up and come through. Nice lifted sternum, tail under, gazing down the nose, and exhale, downward facing dog. Now we're going to step into warrior one. So step into warrior one, step the right foot forward, turn the back foot out. And notice that might make your hip turn out a little. That's okay. Try to turn the ribs forward and take the tail under on that side. Find this angel arm place and then take it all the way up. And breathe. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful warrior one. And starting to reach forward. You could lift the back heel now, pull the right butt back, and then step back. And then let's lower and rise and come through. Big breath in. Inhale and exhale. Left side. Step the left foot forward. You're in a lunge. Now turn the back foot out. Notice that hip might turn out a little. That's okay. Everybody's a little different as to how much they turn out, but try and get your tail under and turn the ribs. Come through angel arms and then all the way up. And breathe here. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And then rise up. Reach forward, pull the left butt back, and step back. And then lower down. Coming a little forward, tail is under. And rise up. Let's come through. Each one of those push-ups, you should feel like you're getting some benefit, like a little strengthening benefit. And that's being kind to yourself. Inhale. And exhale. And now how does the down dog feel now after we've done a few sun salutations? For me, I feel much more open. And exhale. Find your little gaze point if you want to lightly hop up. And lift up really high. And fold. And then inhale, bend the knees. Reach the arms. And come to stand. Let's come to Samasthiti for a moment, standing still and straight. And then we'll take the feet hip width or a little wider. Notice how you're standing. Can you get your pubic bone and belly button on the same plane? Your tendency might be to stick your butt out or to kind of hang out here. See if you can find the middle, right? So it's neutral. And then as you become forward into this forward fold, you want to really hinge at the hip sockets and keep that length in the low spine. And let's go ahead and rest the hands on the shins for a minute and look up. You could always use your blocks, right? So that's an option. So really look up and lengthen. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and fold all the way in. So you could grab the back of your legs and just let your head come down and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Try to straighten your legs as best you can. Shoulders away from your ears. Keep breathing. And now inhale, lengthen. Let's take the arms out to the side. Come halfway up, find a lengthened spine, and then come all the way up. And we'll just take the hands down through heart center and pause for a moment. Samasthiti. Now we'll begin some standing poses. I'm just going to set my blocks up, one in the front and one in the back. And then we'll go ahead and step out. Let's go to Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. So turning the front foot out, the back foot in, right? Feeling that external rotation in that front leg. And there's a balance of internal rotation and external rotation in both legs, right? And then we'll come into the pose. And then I want you to notice what your spine's doing here. Can you lengthen the crown of your head away from your tailbone and then start to turn at the rib cage? So I'm turning the right ribs up, and then my head goes up and follows, and breathe. Inhale, but only go where your neck wants to go today. And then inhale, rise up, and we'll go to the other side. Inhale and exhale. So I turned the right foot in, the left foot out, but there's a balance there. And then I reach up, crown of head away from the tailbone, turn the ribs, reach, and notice what's going on. I'm getting this nice side body stretch here. Reach, and then inhale, rise up. Now we're going to take it to Parivrtta, Trikonasana, which is a revolved triangle. So it's a twist. So the spine still lengthens as you reach. You really want to find that. You want to find the length of your spine, and then you can turn. You can rotate it. Turn the left ribs up. And then maybe you take your head that direction too. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. This one's a challenging balance pose, but it's nice for the hamstrings on that right leg for sure. And pivot. And inhale here. Long spine. So the spine is lengthening, and now it's going to rotate, right? Keep pulling the left butt back. Turn. And notice, what are you feeling? Inhale. And exhale. And breathe. And inhale. There's so many benefits to these poses. So it's important to remember them as you're doing them. Turn the left foot in and the right foot out for Warrior Two. And Warrior Two is a nice open pose. So let's come into angel arms here. So again, the shoulders go down and there's a sense of widening. And then from there, reach the arms and then just change your gaze. Breathe. Strong Warrior Two. Breathing. We're going to take it to Utthita Parsvakonasana. So from here, you can circle. Maybe you want to keep your arm here, or maybe you want to use a block. Right? There's options. And then I'm going to turn the right ribs up. And I have this nice long line of energy, this side body from my pinky finger out, my baby toe on the left side. And then inhale, rise up. We'll come to the other side. Turning the right foot in, left foot out. Start with those angel arms. And then from there, reach Warrior Two. Change your gaze. Breathe. Inhale here. We come into Utthita Parsvakonasana. Reach. Maybe you're here. And breathe. Turn the ribs. So you turn the left ribs. Feel that side body really lengthening from the pinky finger out your baby toe on the right side. Inhale and rise up. I think it's really important to think about all the benefits that you're getting as you're doing the poses. We're going to come down to kneeling on the left knee. Make sure you're a little forward of your knee, or you could use your little towel or a blanket if you needed to for padding. We're going to prep for Parivrtta Parsvakonasana. So we'll start with these angel arms and just stay here for a moment. Just see where you can take that. Keep this left butt under for a moment. Now we slowly begin to take it into a lunge. Just lift the sternum. And then inhale, rise up. So we're going from a back bend now to a twist. So start to take your left side around. So move the left ribs around. See if you can do that. Get that left shoulder around. And then I think it's very helpful to look down to your big toe as you start to rise up. Use the glutes on the right side to pull back and start to turn. You don't have to change your gaze, but you could. Turn from the rib cage. Left ribs turn to the right. And then inhale, use the butt a lot, and rise up. And we'll go to the other side. So taking the right knee down, make sure you're a little forward of that kneecap or on a blanket. Angel arms. But before we come into bending more, let's really work on getting that butt under. Inhale, lift the sternum here, angel arms. Now start to come forward and start to explore the back bend here. Breathe. Breathe. And then inhale, rise up. Now we're going to slowly come across for the twist. So trying to get that arm over as best you can. Take the hands together. You can look down to your front foot as you lift up and then turn. Turning the right ribs to the left, pressing the hands together, breathing. You could change your gaze if you wanted to. Inhale, rise up, but sometimes that can throw you off. So let's come to Prasarita, Padottanasana, spread out pose. So here we go, inhale, hinge from your hips again, come forward. Let's take the hands down to the floor for a moment and notice, can you really get long in your spine? And then from there, grab the big toes with your first 2 fingers and start to pull your head down. You could put your head on a block if it wasn't quite touching the ground, that's fine. But I want you to focus on using the back muscles, not so much in the neck. All right, so breathe here, inhale. And exhale, try to straighten your legs. If your hips are really far back, what happens if you start to pull them forward a little bit? You might feel more stretch. And then inhale, lengthen. Hands on your waist, rise up. Let's take the feet and turn them out just a little. And we'll come into goddess pose. And just pause here. Opening the knees, taking a moment to go inward. Breathing, breathing. And rising up. And we'll step up to the front. Samasthiti. Now we'll come into a few standing balance poses. So I'm going to move the blocks just so they're not in the way. And I'm going to lean back into the wall, or I'm going to have the wall there should I need to. So use it though, because I think, if you need to, because I think it can take you deeper. So we'll take the right leg up. We'll start in tree pose. And for a moment in your tree pose, just find a drishti, or your gaze down a little bit. And breathe there. Feeling that centered and grounded. It's a really nice, calm, kind place. And then from there, what happens if you start to grab your big toe? Hold on if you need to, right? And then lift out this way. So starting with your gaze down, now we're going to change it. Maybe take an angel arm on that left side. Lift up. And be expressive here. This is where I think it can get really nice. And in a yoga practice, play around. And down. So let's go to the other side. So left leg comes up for tree pose. And just find that drishti, that gentle drishti. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and take the toe. You can hold on at this point if you need to. And just reach out. And then from there, we're going to change the drishti. It's down the nose and up. Angel arm on the right side. Lift up, up, up. Be expressive. And then you can let go. And maybe come down back to tree. And then we're going to find ourselves in Samasthiti. So now we're going to do what can be a challenging pose to some people, Vashistasana. And I really like it because it's a side pose. So it's a side plank, and it's very strengthening. And I think it's accessible to most people because there's many ways you can modify it. So we'll inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, fold. Inhale, look up and lengthen. And we're just gonna go to a down dog. So follow along. I'm gonna show different variations. So the first one, we just turn the outer edge of the right foot and then try to put your left foot in front of you. And this is the basic shape, right? Notice is your butt back. Can you bring your butt in alignment? Everything's in alignment here. It's a side plank, and reach up. If this was hard, you could even have this knee down on the floor. That's how much, so it's for everybody. Just make sure you're really pushing through this right shoulder and it's over the hand. It doesn't feel compromised. Now stack, if you can. And if this is going well and you want to, you could bend the knee and maybe come to tree pose. Just try to keep lifting the hips. Some of you might want to play around and reach way up. And you can just go where you want. Maybe you let go, come back down, and we'll come around. Let's do a child's pose in between. And just pause for a moment. Notice what's going on. So now we'll do the other side. So I'm gonna turn around just so that you can get the right angle. So we'll come into downward facing dog. And if you roll to the outer edge of that left foot, try to get your shoulder over your wrist as best you can. It doesn't have to be exact. And then put your right foot down in front of you like a kickstand. Or you could be down here or playing around somewhere in between, right? And then see what you can do. Can you come in and just stack your feet, get your hips under, make sure they're not behind you. And if all this is going well, maybe you want to try your tree pose and lift way up. And then from there, if you felt like you had it and you wanted to try, you could lift the foot, lift up, breathe, breathe, release, and come down. So there's so many ways to modify that pose. Just be in the one that's being kind and serving you today, and you will build up the strength eventually, if that's something you want to do. Let's come to child's pose again. Get your butt back, really reach the arms. Notice what's going on in your body, how you're breathing. And then we'll slowly make our way forward, and we'll come down to seated with the legs in front. And sitting up nice and tall in Dandasana. Let's go ahead and just establish that for a moment. Can you really get your low back just engaged enough that it's supportive and you're really sitting up tall and not rounded back? So just see if you can find that. And from here, let's just come to Paschimottanasana, which should be a nice pose, a release, a letting go. It could be a good stretch too. Don't get me wrong, in the back of the legs, yeah. But let your head just drop. You could use your towel, yoga belt. Make sure your back is lengthening before you drop down. And just find a sense of surrender, kindness, letting go. Gentle strength, I like that one too. And then inhale, lengthen, and rise up. And from here, let's go ahead and bend the right knee. And we're just going to pull the knee back, right? Just feel that knee pulling straight back. And then we'll bring the leg across and sit up, open the knee. Just notice, can you feel the glute stretch here? Lift way up, keep lifting up. And then we'll go ahead and take this to Ustrasana. So the leg comes inside. Let's take a gentle twist to the right, turning. So turn from the ribs. And then on your exhalation, you can feel that turn happen a little bit more. Maybe your gaze goes that way a little bit more. And then from here, inhale, exhale. Let's come into this side bend. Reach the arm up. And you want to really feel these QLs, this side body. Inhale here, exhale, reach. And keep trying to turn. I'm trying to turn the left ribs to the right. Keep turning, keep reaching. And then inhale, rise up. And now we're going to turn this way. Ustrasana. and surrender that way. So if you need to, again, you could use your towel. And I really want you to pull on that right side so you get a sense of that right side really lengthening. So I like to pull my wrist, but the towel works great. Inhale, lengthen. You could also just have your hands on the floor or be somewhere on your leg. Rise up. Let's do the other side. So Dandasana, let the left knee bend. Pull it towards the armpit. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and bring it across, right? Bring it across, bend the knee, and then sit up and try to open that knee. You'll feel it in here. It's nice. Nice glute stretch. Open and sit up tall. Sit up tall. And then from here, we're going to go ahead. We're kind of in the pose, so just put the foot down. And let's stretch these QLs as you twist to the left. Really lift up. And notice as you inhale, can you exhale and let the breath find the twist? Then you can take the head. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale from here. We're going to come into this side bend. You could have your arm here. If this was hard, you could be up a little bit. Okay. And from here, go ahead and reach up and turn. And then from there, here's that side body. It's a really nice, big lengthening from, feel this left butt out the fingertips here, and I'm turning from my right ribs up. Maybe take your gaze up if that feels good in your body. And then inhale, rise. Now, Janu Shirsasana. So go ahead and turn the ribs and come forward. If you're using your towel, really pull that left side. Or some of you really pull that left hand or the wrist and try to just relax the head down, shoulders away from your ears, breathe. Notice what's going on. And then inhale, lengthen, and rise up. And from here, we're going to come to Dandasana, and then we're going to make our way over to our knees. So just go ahead and cross your legs and start to rise up and find yourself on your knees. So we're going to play around now with Ustrasana. So Ustrasana is awesome because it really opens the front a lot. Not only the hips, but the sternum, the shoulders. So let's go into it. I want you to just really press the shins down and feel that energy, how you're using your legs. And just for a moment, lean back and try not to back bend. And notice, can you feel the stretch here, the work here? And I'm also feeling work in my quads. And come up. Do that one more time. And notice, can you do this without back bending? And rise up. Now we're going to do the back bend. So we're going to really try to take the tail down and we're pressing through the shins. Let's take angel arms. So the shoulders are down and there's a width happening, so they're not just squishing together. And as you start to go back, you know the blocks are there. If you could also have your feet like this if you didn't have blocks, or maybe you don't need them, and just see where you can take this. Now start to use those muscles under the legs or under the butt. And then when you're ready, maybe you can find the blocks. And if your body went back, that's okay. Just lift it back up again. Inhale, lift. Tail under, lift, lift, lift. And then rise up. And we'll go ahead and move the blocks. Hopefully that felt really good. But you could just take it to where your body wants it to go today. So let's find ourselves in Dandasana again. And we'll come into Paschimottanasana. So inhale, making sure your spine is lengthening. Exhale, come forward. Of course, you could use your towel, your belt, or maybe your hands. Shoulders away from your ears, or maybe you're here. And just release. Try to straighten those legs. Inhale, lengthen. And we're gonna roll back. And if you want to, you can use the blocks. So I'm placing one for my shoulder blades, and the other one's going to be for my head. And inhale here, exhale, starting to come back. Curl, So I'm going to adjust so that this is right on the bottom edge of my shoulder blades. So it's right under where my sternum is. And then the other one is supporting my head. I'm going to bend the knees and reach the arms. For a moment, take your tail back a little and feel this radiance in this part of the body, this opening of the heart and the chest and shoulders. And then from here, let's go ahead and we'll make it a little more restorative. You can keep your arms if you're really liking that. Let's take the feet into Padottanasana and just notice what's going on there. Like I said, you could have your eyes closed and just breathe. And just feel that loving kindness. And then you could stay here as long as you wanted if you wanted to pause the video, but we're gonna come out and you can straighten the legs and start to curl and come up. And then from here, I'm going to come back down to the floor. I'm gonna roll back down. And let's just bend the knees and come into Setu Bandhasana, a bridge. So inhale here, exhale, use all the back of the legs to lift you up. And then once you're up, you can adjust. Maybe you want to walk your feet in. Maybe you want to roll your shoulders a little bit more open. And make sure your neck stays long, whatever you decide. Some people can grab here. Some people can interlace. Some people grab the sides of the mat. But find what feels good in your body and then lift way up. Lift up, 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 and notice what muscles are working. Make sure your neck isn't back into some, it's right in the middle. Nice long neck. And then let's slowly, we'll come out, we'll articulate. So reach the arms, start to curl. And coming all the way down. And let the arms come down. Now I'm going to take us into the closing where we do a supported inversion, or you're welcome to do shoulder stand. And then we come into Savasana. But if you were feeling like you were really energetic and you wanted to, at this point you could do Urdhva Dhanurasana and press up into a back bend. I'm just saying. I'm not going to do that today, but let your feet come up and stay here. But this practice as it is, you should be totally balanced. Breathe. Notice, can you really straighten your legs? You're not arched, you're not tucked under. And like I said, some people like to come into Halasana for their closing, keeping the neck long. Some people like shoulder stand. I'm moving through this a little quickly, so if this is in your practice, go slow, take your time. Like I said, pause the video, or just stay with your pelvis on the block. I think Parnapidasana is nice, where you bend the knees, if that's in your practice. And slowly, we all meet here. And then from here, let's go ahead and come off the block. We'll shift the hips to the left. Take the arms out to the side. Inhale. Exhale, take the legs over to the right. You could gently guide that left knee over with your right hand. As you exhale, turn your right ribs to the left, and then maybe the left shoulder comes down, and then maybe your head goes over, and breathe. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, we'll come to the other side. Lift the hips up, shift them to the right. Let the knees come up. Take the knees over. Gently with your left hand, guide that right knee over. And then you're turning the left ribs to the right. So on an exhalation, exhale, turn. And then maybe the right shoulder comes down, and maybe you turn your gaze to the right. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, letting everything come back. Go ahead and pull the knees in. You can curl up, or if you wanted to do happy baby, whatever you want to do in this moment. Pull in and release into Shavasana. And just let go of your body and go into that kindness, the compassion, the openness, and stay in that. And you can stay here in Shavasana as long as you'd like. But I'm going to go ahead and take us out. So just start to become aware of your breath. And without changing anything, just moving fingers, toes, but staying in that openness. And then as you're ready, bending the knees and finding your way into a fetal position. And pause and stay in that for a moment. And we'll come to seated. And I think it's important to just take a moment to notice the effects of this practice on your body and mind today. Kindness, openness, compassion, and not only feeling that in your body, but taking it with you and spreading it in whatever you do. Namaste.